Hi everyone, welcome to Avoid the Tyre Wall Podcast. With us today we have myself, Megan.
Hi, I'm Kate.
Hi, I'm Esther.
Hi, I'm Tegan.
And today we'll be talking about a few different points in Formula One, but we will begin with our hopes for the season. So my top three predicted drivers for the end of the season will be Lewis Hamilton, Max Verstappen and Lando Norris.
Mine's the same, so Lewis, Max, and then Lando.
I think I agree with you all. Lewis, Max, Lando.
I am going to spice it up a bit, and I hope Max is the top of the championship, Lewis second, Lando third, but I would be happy with like that, all three of them as the top three.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, I hope Max wins as well, though. But seeing different years and last year, I think Lewis still will win.
Yeah. Should we talk about the Red Bull versus Mercedes battle and that Max versus Lewis battle at the top of the table?
Yeah, sure.
So, personally, I think both cars are looking incredibly fast throughout the first 5 races we had so far.
Yeah, 5 races already, yeah.
And we've seen that the potential that Max has against Lewis, and we've seen that within that he can win races and put Lewis under pressure.
I think I agree that like they're both very dominant cars and they are like battling as such, but I think maybe have a little bit more like spiciness and like variety on the podiums and stuff rather than just like a Red Bull, Mercedes, Red Bull, or like Mercedes, Red Bull, Mercedes, or stuff like that.
Yeah, definitely, like we saw at the weekend with Max, Carlos and Lando, something like that. Just mix that top three up a little and give other drivers the chance of being up there and fighting for points.
It's more interesting as well if there's different drivers. If it's the same, it's just boring. And the race is boring as well.
Yeah, definitely.
What do you guys think of the liveries?
I think the McLaren Golf livery, which they done especially for Monaco, it brought a different like kind of vibe. Like it was all like traditional and just recreating the history, like what comes with the track at Monaco. And with a few other liveries as well, I think like Williams and the way that like their car, they had like 750 on the side for the amount of years, and I think that was really cool as well.
I think the Williams adds a bit of like coolness to the track.
I have to say I had to adjust to the Golf livery though, but I love it now, and on track it even looked better than with the presentation. I didn't like it with the orange stripes and such things. I'm sorry, McLaren promo team and PR, but I really liked it on track.
Yeah, and the helmet that went with it, it was like added something.
Oh my, chef's kiss. Chef's kiss.
Speaking of McLaren, their battle with Ferrari this season is definitely tighter than what we saw at the back end of last season, and we've now got that Lando battle with Carlos in Ferrari and with Lando in McLaren. So what do you guys think might happen there between those two teams?
I personally think that they will be fighting for like, I don't know, third and fourth in the constructors. And maybe we could like see a lot of Lando action.
Forget Charles though, because Charles is a pretty good driver, and So is Daniel, but Daniel has to get used to the car.
Yeah, definitely. As we've seen on Instagram stories throughout this week, he's been at McLaren in the simulator working on getting ready for Baku and getting used to that car, because as Carlos has said, it's a tricky car to drive, and Lando's just got the top notch of the experience in that car.
But the thing is, with Carlos, that's his new car as well, and he's managed to be able to get a podium, whereas Ricciardo hasn't had the opportunity. But it's taken Ricciardo so long to get used to the car, and he's not performing, and he needs to get that result for McLaren, because if he's not going to score the points, they're going to be fourth. So it's more pressure on Lando to get the points as well, and for him to get podiums, for them to be better than Ferrari. But once Ricciardo is used to the car, he's going to score a lot of points, because he does have potential. He's got the podiums, he's got the pole positions, he knows what to do. It's just getting used to the car. But then getting used to the car, what does that mean?
Yeah, definitely.
I think I read somewhere that up until Monaco, McLaren were the only Formula One, obviously Formula One, but only team to have both cars in the points. And then, unfortunately, in McLaren, we saw Danny Rick be unpointed. That's totally a word.
They jinxed it. That's what they done. They jinxed McLaren, and yeah.
That Charles was on pole, and it was absolute heartbreak when he crashed out. But I was saying to my dad, "Oh, Charles broken his Monaco curse. Yeah, he didn't finish in like any of his other Monaco races. He broken the curse." And I think I might have jinxed it. I'm sorry, Charles. I didn't mean to jinx it.
He definitely did put that car to the limit to try and keep on top of Max for sure. And you can now see what happens when you put those cars to the limits. And it can be heart-wrenching for drivers, as seen with Charles, who didn't start the race.
Yeah. I was kind of curious as to why the performance of the Ferrari has gone up so much. Is it because of the driver lineup, or is it the inside mechanics or the engineering or stuff like that?
Or was it just the track? Was the Ferrari built for Monaco?
It could be. So then they can be good at Baku as well. It's because, I don't know.
It's the low speed corners. Definitely, it's the low speed corners, because there's definitely low speed corners in Monaco, because most of them are low hairpin, so it's slow. And the Ferrari has that good on downforce going through those corners.
The straights or not? Does anyone know? Speed wise.
I think their speed trap. I did see this on F1 Instagram. But Danny Rick was up there on the speed trap, and I was like, "Ooh, I'll search up now."
I was going to say, between McLaren and Ferrari, I think McLaren are faster on straight line speed than what they are in the corners.
Yeah.
Oh, I was going to say something now, I can't remember. Oh, yeah. If you take the corner in Monaco too fast, you will literally end up on a boat, though. And, I mean...
Yeah, or in the swimming pool, though.
And on this one geezer that drove in Monaco... Sorry, I can't get a coherent sentence. But the one guy who drove in Monaco crashed into the harbour. It was like years and years and years ago, like before our times. Very before.
It was definitely back in the early days.
Yeah,
in the 50s, I guess.
When there was no
it was
safety.
back because there was a diamond on.
Oh yeah,
I can't remember
one.
That one, yeah. because it was on the same video clip as that, if I remember rightly.
That's why I like
losing that in
of the track limits and all that. And like, if you make a mistake, you're basically out, or if you go wide, you're out. And I like having the barriers there compared to other tracks where you can just drive off, or you can. And also, like when you're doing qualifying, you can't, because everyone's getting, like with Max and Lando being penalised with track limits and all that. With that, you can't. Well, you can, but only on the little corners.
Yeah, I think that's why I gravitate as like more interest towards Formula E, because it is street circuits, and I like the street circuits in F1 because I think they can be like really boring, but it does show how much, obviously all the races show how much skill the drivers have, but street circuits especially, because you don't know what the conditions are going to be like until you drive on it. And like the asphalt or whatever it's called that they lay in Monaco, it's new each year, but obviously it does get worn down when the Monegasque people or the Monaco residents are driving around and stuff, so it like spices it up. So two podiums in 5 races, I think it was. Very, very good. Like, he's shining.
Mum, it's me.
Yeah, mommy.
Yeah, I saw
Love
that.
the
That was
vid,
funny.
though.
I find it nice how every time his mum said, "Oh, you're gonna get I feel a podium today," Lando's been on the podium as of what he was saying in one of his Twitch streams, which I feel was like, it brings a touch. It's like he wants to do his mum proud in that sense, so he's like pushed and he's on the podium. So can Lando's mum like tell him to get podiums more?
Every
Yeah.
race.
We pray to you.
I think I need Siska, I think that's what she's called, as my
It's
good
Siska,
luck
yeah.
charm. I definitely need her. I'm gonna like email her and be like, I need you as a good luck charm. I'm doing my GCSEs soon. Help. She'd be like,
Mum and Boris proud.
she'd be like, I want you to get a 9, and then I'd be like, oh, I got a 9.
It only works with her children, though. I don't know.
Oh, it's always a negative.
Lando and his podiums, yeah. So much better than last year. That's all I can say, and I hope he keeps his pace and he can maybe he can be third in the World Championship. Let's hope. That's all I can say.
He definitely is pushing to be that future world champion, and being still one of the youngest on the grid at 21, he is looking likely to be a future world champion within my eyes, and I'm sure within others' eyes as well, as he's growing so much with McLaren, signed a new contract to continue that growth and push on, and hopefully by the end of this season we may see him higher than on the 3rd step of that podium.
I feel like also if a driver, like if one of the top drivers making a mistake, he's always there, and that's how he's got the podium. And like he knows what he's doing, he's learned a lot, and that he's always going to be there, so he can take the opportunity to earn more points and then get higher than championship. But then I feel like in future years to come, when Lewis is gone or whatever, I feel like the championship's going to be way more tighter, because we've got George, Lando, Max, Charles, Carlos, all top drivers. That's going to be really close.
Yeah. Is
Definitely.
Lando the second youngest on the grid after Yuki?
I believe so.
Because
I
like
think
Nick's 21,
Nick is in there,
I think.
is Mick 22 now though?
I don't know.
We have to Google that.
But like look at how long Kimmy's been in F1, 20 years, and so Lando's got like a 2-decade career ahead of him that he could like he could be fighting for victories this.
But then he did say that he wants to do different things other than Formula One as well, which I feel like is a good thing to do as well. You don't want to like stay stuck in Formula One.
Yeah, back to Mick, by the way. Mick is 22. Yeah, he turned 22 on the 22nd of March.
Yeah, because he's 20 days younger than Mazepin. I was sort of internet stuff.
Mazepin's 22.
Yeah.
He was right. Mick is, so Lando is the second youngest.
Is he second shortest as well?
I think he is. Yes, I think he is. He is.
He's taller than me. So. Oh, well, actually, Yuki's taller than me, so it's not very difficult.
I'm taller than Lando. I'm taller than Yuki. I'm around the same height as Valtteri Bottas, though.
I think I'm same as Yuki, I think, give or take.
Yuki's 5 foot.
What was Lewis Hamilton? I don't know.
Yeah, I'm there as well. 5'2".
5'8", I thought. 172 centimeters. Because we don't work with inches in the Netherlands. We say centimeters or 1.72 meters.
Should we talk about
Sebastian Vettel, yes. And how the replay clip of Lance Stroll ruins the overtake.
Have you seen all the memes of it?
Yes!
So much.
Oh. But wow, the pace of him at the weekend. And can this be the return of Sebastian Vettel in that Aston Martin?
Hopefully.
Could be.
Hopefully.
I don't think he'll be fighting for what's it called? Victories, but podiums maybe, because P5 at the weekend blew me away. Blew my socks off, I believe the phrase is. But Zeb, obviously 4-time champion with Red Bull. He's just a nice guy, to be honest. I like Zeb.
I feel like also it's the car which isn't that good. So if he had a better car, I'm sure he'll be able to get the victories and get the points. But it's not going too well for him. But I feel like the reason he did good in Monaco is because the amount of cars which were got knocked out or the drivers weren't doing good. I feel like that's what made him better.
I would love to see Seb in this year's Ferrari to see how much of a difference it was to him driving in it last year, because as we've seen, there's definitely a change within that Ferrari. And is it the car itself or is it the drivers? So if Seb was still there, would he be up there fighting for podiums like Charles is? So it could be the car, it could be the drivers. But that Aston Martin, if it finds more pace like Williams has this year, then could we see Sebastian Vettel and maybe Lance Stroll as well on the podium?
On the topic of Williams, George Russell, definitely Mr. Saturday. His qualifying this year, my mum doesn't watch F1, but I was talking to her about it and I was like, George Russell doing amazing in a Williams. And she was like, what? And I was like, Williams, last year they were like the slowest car on the grid. And then this year he's in Q2 every single session, which absolutely love.
Is that George, his talent, or is it and his growth, or is it the car?
I think talent.
I think talent, because compared to Nicholas Latifi, he's not doing as good. And I think it was, I don't know when, but how Latifi got overtaken by one of the Hasses, and the Haas car isn't that good. And so I feel like it's George, but fair enough, the car's improving, but I want to see the car improve more so they can actually get in the points, because George did have the opportunity, but then he blew that by going into Bottas's car. But I want him to get more points, but I don't think it's going to happen yet. You get what I mean?
Speaking of the George and Valtteri incident in Imola, obviously George fighting up for points in, as far as, was it P9? Fighting in P9?
I think so.
I think
it was somewhere around there.
Yeah, it's what
Valtteri back that far, and I heard Toto Wolff, George doing amazingly to get the car up there, but Valtteri should not be fighting for points that low down. So is it time that they keep looking at Valtteri compared to George and think George is doing much better with his stats than Valtteri, and will they bring him in sooner than the end of the season?
Toto said that they're not going to replace Valtteri, but I know with Valtteri that there's been so many mistakes, but then there's been so many excuses, because in Imola they said that the tyres weren't good enough and there wasn't enough grip and all that, but I'm like, compared to Lewis, same car, uses like the same tyres, he managed to gain so many places after his mistake. Why can't Valtteri?
I saw a man on TikTok, Luke Howick, I believe it was, and he was saying that the rumours of the Valtteri out, George in for the 2022 seat at Mercedes, and he was saying about how every single time Valtteri does something wrong or Mercedes does something wrong, those rumours will start flying. And yeah, I'd like George Russell to go to Mercedes, but it's sort of a bit unfair on Valtteri Bottas, because they're like, do we have the seat and stuff? And then you look at like the stats and they're like, oh no, he's only got this amount of victories in this amount of time. But I feel like Valtteri's always been the underdog to Lewis. And like, because Lewis, 7-time world champ, most victories, I think it is, and most poles, he like has always outshone and been like, oh, I'm Lewis Hamilton. And then like you refer to him as Lewis Hamilton, but then if you're like a younger F1 fan or like a newer F1 fan, you're like, oh, Valtteri Bottas, who drives at Mercedes, rather than just Valtteri Bottas. And I also saw a post on Instagram, sorry, I'm rambling, but I saw a post on Instagram saying somebody put a confession in and was like, whenever something goes wrong for Lewis, whenever Lewis gets victories, it's well done, team, it's all the team's effort. But then if something goes wrong for Lewis, it's like, oh, you guys screwed up, you guys did this wrong, you did it wrong. Not like both of their faults, just the teams. So I think
it was just
fair.
on Ziggo, on the Dutch station where we can watch F1, the interviewer asked Lewis, so what went wrong? Where is the improvement needed? Is it with you? No. Is it with the team? Yeah. So he really dropped a bomb on the team, I guess. So I thought, yeah, you can be Lewis Hamilton, but you can make mistakes. It's not only the team that does that.
Happened in Monaco, it was kind of the team's fault, because about the pit stops and all that, but then Lewis could have gone faster. He knew that other teams were going to be pitted. He should have gone faster to go in front of them, but he didn't.
But it's not only the team, it's that's what I'm trying to say, but my lack of English grammar is just that. But so it's both of them. So well as Lewis as the team, there could be looking at improvements, not only just the team.
Yeah, because no one's perfect. Like you make mistakes, learn from it. But
I think, like, say I owned a team and then my driver was like, "Oh my god, it's all your fault that it all went wrong." I obviously do not own a team, but if my driver was like that, I would like have some harsh talkings too, because obviously it's Lewis Hamilton, so you could probably get away with stuff when you're that high up in like your career and you're seen as like the GOAT. That was 2 quote marks, by the way. But I just think maybe he needs to be sat down and been like, look, it's not just our fault. Obviously, yes, we did have a bit of a weird strategy, but we do both need to look at how to improve, like, and be saying, oh, what did you think was wrong with the car and what happened to you during the race and stuff. That's my conclusion.
Talking about the Monaco track, and there's been a lot of debate on social media platforms whether it should stay or whether it should go. What are your guys' take on that?
Money. That is, I bet that Monaco Grand Prix rakes in so much money. I mean, obviously it's a beautiful place, but it's stupid expensive to go there. Sky did a test a couple of years ago, and if you go full luxury, it was almost $1 million, but like the lowest was still over a few £1,000s, and I was like, that's bonkers. But it's like kind of boring, and it's really long, and it's all money.
I feel like it's also space as well, because like in the garages there's no room. You can like barely fit like 2 people when the car's in there. But I do love Monaco. It's a classic track. It attracts a lot of people, but it could be better. Like, because last week it was a boring race. What can they do? What can they do differently? But I feel like it should stay because it's a nice track and it's got so much history towards it, and it's a Formula One track. It's one of the races that you think of when you think about Formula One.
Yeah, and so obviously Monaco residents, not Monegasques, Monaco residents don't pay tax, and the Grand Prix in tourism would probably equate to the amount of tax that British people have to pay, because like it brings in so much like sponsorship and excitement and like the experience of going to the Monaco Grand Prix. Like you could go up to your friend and be like, oh, I went to the Monaco Grand Prix, and they'd be like, wow, that's amazing.
Yeah, definitely. I agree with all the points there. It can be a hard debate on stay or go, but with the history that it brings, I definitely think that it should stay. But also, we've seen, I think, most Monaco Grand Prix, there is the Amber Lounge, in which are raised money for charity as well. And as seen with George Russell, Nicholas Latifi, and Antonio Giovinazzi, who those 3 drivers went and done modelling again to help raise money. So it's all for a good cause, with like the likes of raising money for charity, and it shows how much F1 takes into account other factors that are going on in the world.
Everyone should have the opportunity to work and in Formula One, or have the opportunity to be able to do something, rather than what their gender is, what their race is, how much money, what income they get in, or where they live. It should be how everyone should be included and how everyone should be treated as the same person.
On the topic of that, when you look at the costs of getting into like the lower categories, I was reading up on it the other day. I think it said the Formula 4 British version was something like £11,000 for one season, and then a load of other money on that on top of it, and you have to pay for your racing license, and you have to pay for like your kit and your helmet and stuff, and so it's just so expensive to get into. And I feel like that sort of is a bit of an issue within it. Obviously, you probably can't change the fact that it is a rich kid sport as such, but it would just be nice if, like, there was a cheaper route. I would probably take out Turkey or Abu Dhabi, because Turkey's just gone back into lockdown, actually. Just realised I need to update my calendar.
It was that plan changed, right? It's France first.
They're doing two of
Austria.
Again.
Austria and the Styrian one first.
Yeah.
But then Austria is the one that I would most likely get rid of.
Yeah.
I do not like track.
It's not this double header.
I don't know. I saw on Instagram, I think, that someone had said that France had got something like 300 or 100, I can't remember, as one of those two, racetracks, and Austria's got one. And they said, "Oh, instead of going to France twice, let's go to Austria twice." And that somebody was kicking off about it. It was quite interesting, actually. But it's bonkers that they just went, "Oh yeah, let's go to Austria twice," when there's one racetrack, and then not go to like France or England where we've got bajillions.
But then, I mean, if they stay in Austria, they don't have to worry about moving too much stuff. Well, they still have to move the stuff anyway, don't they? But why not go to another country where there's more than one track?
Why not go to the US? Because it's so big, you can get to tracks.
Yeah.
We've got the
Indianapolis one.
Texas. Near Texas.
Yeah.
Texas.
Awesome. Yeah, it's COTA, right? COTA, Circuit of the Americas.
That one. It's that one.
Oh,
Think we
yeah,
go
isn't
there.
it? I just had my light bulb moment.
But they also raced it in Indianapolis, so why won't we do that? That's fun.
They could use
I
an
get
IndyCar track. I would add a British street circuit through, like, I don't know, the streets of London or something. Or maybe not London. But, I don't know, somewhere, like, historic that could be cool. Because I would actually go to that if it was, like, quite cheap.
Which Grand Prix are we looking forward to, though? Most forward to, though?
Baku.
Yeah, Baku. I like Baku.
Yeah. Is that your favorite?
Belgium.
Yeah.
I
Personally,
like the
Dutch,
Spa
but hey.
I like the Spa circuit, but I don't like the memories associated it with. I think I said this on a Zoom the other day, but like Suzuka, I think it was, and Spa and Imola, all the associated memories. And look at like the Nürburgring, where Niki Lauda had his bad crash. Obviously, like the proper Nürburgring, not the rip-off one. But
the Nordschleife.
Yeah. That is a cool circuit. They should not add that to the F1 calendar, but it's cool. The Nürburgring, the Spa, and not the Spa, and Suzuka and Imola all have like the most recent, well, not the most recent deaths, but they both all have like deaths associated with them. I googled somewhere, and the amount of deaths on the Nürburgring is insane. So, like, the memories that come with it are quite sad.
Definitely. And like for like Pierre and Charles and the younger drivers, like at Spa, it's more to them as like, it's like, I feel like to them it's more an important race as they're racing for Anton Hubert. So like as we saw with, I think it was a couple which race, with the race that Pierre Gasly won, he done it in memory of Anton. So we saw him on the podium and just his celebration in memory of his friends.
Yeah, it's more, you can connect more with the drivers as well. And it's like, you want them to do good, you want them to win, you want them to be good because of what happened, but I feel like also they want to do good to make the drivers who passed away proud as well.
Yeah, I've just Googled.
Yeah.
And it says, I've Googled the number of deaths on the Nürburgring. Anyone in a car can go round it for a free of just €24 a lap. Public sessions alone, there are an estimated 3 to 12 deaths a year. So it's stupid dangerous.
Yeah, I wanted to say that I'm looking most forward to the Dutch Grand Prix because I'm going on the Friday, so that's the one. But then we went into the sad stuff, and it didn't feel appropriate to say that. But hey, I'm looking forward to it still. Yeah,
I'm just Googling.
We want some live videos.
Yeah, of course.
Wow, it says.
And I'm gonna buy stroopwafels for Lando.
Yes, the stroop waffles.
Yeah.
Oh, stroop waffles.
We got them for free at the supermarket. So I have still got a pack of, what is it, 10 or 12 stroopwafels in the cabinet. So they're still there.
And it says that Spa has got 48 fatalities. The Indianapolis Motor Speedway is third with 56. The Nürburgring second with 68. And the Isle of Man, 242.
That is the man though, isn't it?
Risha, what are you doing to us?
And then you've got like Le Mans up there. And Monza, I think it said, was up there, which I didn't expect.
Yeah, the other circuits were a lot of, motorsport days, I guess.
That is an end of today's podcast, and we thank you all for watching and listening. And we will see you next week when we talk with
Joseph Loke of Formula 4. And JHR Developments, I believe. I'll have a little story.
So we will see you next week.
Thank you. Bye.
Bye.